forget that. Let's talk about universe building, because K-pop Demon Hunters is potentially creating their own cinematic universe, and they're building a franchise off of this. Now, this right here, there's a lot to talk about this one, because the CEO of Netflix, listen, CEO of Netflix singled out K-pop Demon Hunters. Imagine all the shows, all the movies, all the new releases that are coming out for Netflix. And the CEO decides, hey, I'm going to single out the #1 animated movie on Netflix. Okay, you're thinking, okay, that's a given. But y'all don't understand how popular that is. The #1 animated movie on Netflix of all time. So he singled that out.
The last time a show got talked about this much from Netflix was when Squid Game season 1
Squid Games. Another Korean. Another Korean show.
Korean story.
Or a Korean-based story. Correct. So that right there is amazing. But if you look at this, all right, this show came out of June 2025. It's been technically over a month when all this stuff was announced. Over a month. Yet it was at the top of the charts for like 5 weeks straight.
Number one movie on Netflix for 5 weeks straight. It got dethroned when the new Happy Gilmore came out.
And honestly, that was ridiculous. It needs to go back up, because I don't know if you've seen it, but it was a big
It's the nostalgia. It's the nostalgia.
It was just nostalgia the whole time. But we're talking about K-pop. We're staying on here. We're staying on topic for this one because I'm really excited about this. According to Netflix and Sony, they're considering a trilogy sequel. So that's crazy. A live action remake, which, Lord, please no. A TV series, I'm a little bit iffy about that one, if I'm being honest. I really don't know how that's going to do. I really want to hear more information about that. A stage musical, which it's all music, which, I mean, like I said, I wanted more music, so that might be better for me. And even a short film to bridge the entire seasons and everything together.
So like a little OVA to like answer some questions that maybe they don't want to make a whole movie out of.
It is, first off, it's a cash grab. It is. You can tell they're capitalizing off of something, because they're talking to other companies outside of Netflix to do merchandise. And you know that right there is just going to rain in like crazy. People are going to be buying all that stuff.
Well, it's so popular. I introduced my wife and kids to it. We've watched it 4 more times.
Dude,
so I literally,
so
I've seen it 6 times. And like, if my movie theater down the road was like, hey, we're doing a screening of K-pop Demon Hunters, and I would go. I would.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
It's such a good show. And I agree with you. I mean, it's definitely a cash grab by Netflix, but I mean, it's a good cash grab, right? So like, here's the thing.
I'm all for it. I wanted more.
Yeah, they're wanting to do all these different things. And as long as they're all executed well, that'll be great.
Yes.
Here's something that would be interesting that I doubt they'll do. I hate live action adaptations. I am not a fan, never a fan. Like I explained in my video today, there's things that you can do with animation that you just can't do in live action. So like some of the coolest moments of K-pop Demon Hunters, the weird like comic, like angry, weird faces they do. You can't do that.
No,
you can't do scenes where the hunters jump out of the airplane and superhero dive into their arena. You can't do stuff like there's things that you just can't do those things. But it would be interesting if they take the approach of like what the Matrix did, right? The Matrix has, and we're getting old school, right? The Matrix has 3 movies, now 4, multiple video games, and the Animatrix. And in order to get the full story of the Matrix, you have to consume all of that media. Because none of it goes over the same exact things. Every part of those different mediums go over a different portion of the story in the world of the Matrix. So you're never getting the same thing that's really redone. You're getting another story in the world that's canonically like a part of the world. So
what is that live action?
The only way that to land that plane, that would be the only way that I would be excited about a live action K-pop Demon Hunter, is if it wasn't a remake, but it was a live action story in that world. But here's the thing, if they did that, they could cater it in such a way that it was operating within the limits of live action cinema and still be good.
Well, here's the thing. Let me tell you right now, if not single-handedly, I know for a fact the honeymoon is protected. All right, for how popular this animation movie, but it's technically an animation movie has done, the honeymoon is protected. Why mess with it with the live action.
I
That's
will
just
agree.
spitting on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm glad you brought up that point because it kind of almost answered it. At the same time, I had a question for you. If you could pick one scene from K-pop Demon Hunters movie, the movie, right? You could pick one scene from the movie. What would you like to see it as a live action? What scene from K-pop Demon Hunters just speaks to you, saying, you know what, that would do pretty well as a live action. But I do want to point out this one clause though. You can't do any of the songs because that's too
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah. That's a hard one, honestly. I don't know. I think it would be, I mean, one of the funniest scenes that I don't think they could do it well, but it would be cool to get the right writers and then the right type of directors to do the scene. It's one of my favorite scenes at the beginning when they're snacking.
Right. How could they do that with the
Right.
facial expressions, dude?
How could they? But I mean, it's funny, right? Like
Yeah.
if they got the right act, like think about Jim Carrey in like
Mhm,
his prime. Jim
mhm.
Carrey could do crazy things with his face that people were like, "How are you doing that?" Right? If they could get
Right.
the right actors to do it and not try and
Mhm.
mimic it exactly, but interpret it, right? Interpret it the right way for live action. I think that could be a really funny, like it almost makes me think of like an SNL skit, like that could
Yeah.
be really funny.
What makes me think, because I was thinking my first answer was going to be when the tiger was doing the pot, just flipping them. I wanted to see how would they do that, but that also made me think, how are they going to do the tiger and the crow? Because you know how they've done with Lilo and Stitch and Sonic the Hedgehog. That didn't go so well. You saw how people were in uproar and they wanted them to fix it.
Yeah.
So thankfully, it turned out
Yeah.
to be the way it needed to be. I'm really, really curious about how they're gonna make Tiger look. Crow, I'm not too worried about that. That could be either way. But
You know what was
Tiger, it's
the
gonna be CGI, of
funniest
course.
part of that whole movie to me, and it's a piece that I bet most people didn't realize, but the first time I watched it, I caught this and I just laughed my rear end off. It's when they're getting ready to do the Idol Awards, right? And so they're transitioning into the Idol Awards, and then that the announcer for the Idol Awards comes on, and he's like, it still cracks me up.
Dude,
He's like, every snowflake is unique, but one snowflake is probably the best problem. And I'm just like, what?
that whole intro out of the whole movie, my wife's like, this is like the one part of the movie that just doesn't fit in here at all. But it's so good though. One of them is better than all the other. Like, who says that? But beautiful though. And then of course, apparently an asteroid hits the Earth. That okay. But here's another question though. Going into tying in with the whole Demon Slayer debacle that we're having,
Mhm.
how do you feel about release dates coming with K-pop Demon Hunters? Do you think it's going to be
Mm,
fast, trying to do that cash grab? Because you saw what happened with Squid
mhm.
Games. They waited a
Yeah.
little while, but then they did like the season 2, then season 3, pretty quickly. I think within the same year,
But they didn't
actually.
really announce when it was coming, right?
Yeah, they
I
did
would
terrible at
prefer, yeah, I would prefer if they don't actually like announce the times or the projected like dates, because then it just makes us as fans where if I know, so like with Demon Slayer, if I know like, hey, the third movie is probably
that.
not going to come out till 2029,
Yeah,
2031, I'm going to be thinking about that the whole time, right? But if
yeah,
I don't know that information, it's easier to forget about it and just like, you know, focus on other things and then be pleasantly surprised, like Squid Games. I loved Squid Game season 1, and then like Squid Game season 2 came out, I was like, "Oh, this is a surprise." And I watched it, and then Squid Game season 3 came out and I haven't had a chance to watch it. I still need to watch it. And but it was a surprise, right? I would prefer that that's the way that they go. I don't know if they will or they won't,
no,
but
that's a
that,
great point. Great
yeah, I
point.
think that's a better way to do it. But you also have something like, I wonder if Demon Slayer is more popular than K-pop Demon Hunters, right?
No,
Like Demon,
no.
I
At
don't
this
know.
point, dude, it is taken
You got to think,
over.
but you
You
got to
see
think,
grown men that wouldn't even touch
sure,
anime singing the songs. I'm sorry. If you want to talk about Dying on Hills, I think right now K-pop Demon Hunters is going
yeah.
to surpass Demon Slayer like this year. Like
But Demon Slayer has what 6 years worth of fans built
I
up.
don't care.
So I
It's
don't.
dude,
All I'm getting
go
at
to any
is,
convention and like you'll see there's going to be probably more people there
oh yeah.
that are going to be in K-pop Demon Hunters than you'll see with Demon Slayer. I guarantee you that. That's
Now,
what will happen. Now, here's the thing though that you brought up, and I think is a great point because I didn't realize till today, and it's crazy how all these topics we're talking about is like it just it seems like fate almost. I don't want to be that guy to throw it out, but On my way home, also, I was listening to the radio, and they mentioned how they are now starting recording for the new Spider-Man movie, and we just talked about this, I think, last week.
Well, I have
And
a
I,
point on that
and I
that I want to bring
realized,
up.
I was like, it's been that long since the Spider-Man movie came out. So once you said that, it kind of gives you that realization.
Yep. So you're
It
not really
kind of it
thinking
kind of
about it.
drags it out a little bit. So I kind of like being
Yeah.
surprised. But also on the other point, they did like no advertising for K-pop Demon Hunters, and look at the success it is.
Yep.
So I don't think they need any advertisement when the
Yep.
next one comes out. I don't think they need any advertisement when the TV show merchandise. I think it's just going
Yeah.
to do itself.
I
Because when
saw
you have
the
something that's that good, it's gonna sell itself.
I saw the trailer for the first time today because I made a video on it and I needed to download the trailer so I could use clips from it. No,
Mhm.
something I realized today, I didn't realize this. I realized this today because we watched the Mitchells versus the Machines on Netflix today with my kids,
Mhm.
which is
Is it good?
like it's very good. It's made by the same it's animated by the same studio that
Yeah, Sony got
animated
it.
Spider-Man, and
Oh, okay.
they're the same. Yeah, Sony, and that's the same studios that animated K-pop Demon Hunters. So K-pop Demon Hunters is animated by the
Mhm.
same studios that animated Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man.
I see the similarities of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
with the
there's
animation.
similarity. Mitchell's and the
Yeah.
Machines is very, very similar, but
Yeah.
I
So
just
I saw the
realized that
trailer for
today,
that. Yeah.
and I thought that was really, really cool.
I don't know, because one thing is I do like how they're making a Spider-Man. I like knowing that they're recording a new Spider-Man, but at the same time, I'm at the point though, it baffles me how long we'll have to wait. But time might not be on our side, because this whole episode's gonna be about time.
So
Because
I have a question for you.
yeah, go ahead.
Talking about okay, so like we're definitely gonna get one movie for K-pop Demon Hunters, right? Probably
Three.
might get 2, 3 series, whatever. What's if they could only explore one thing, what would you want them to explore? What questions would you want them to answer? Would you want it to be a sequel or a prequel? What
Right.
would you want?
So honestly, I feel there's multiple answers for that. That's a great question, because there's multiple. Obviously, yes, I would love to know about Rumi's father,
Mhm.
because me and you went into deep
Yeah.
talk about that,
Yeah.
and you brought up a point that I thought was very good. And so, in my mindset, I was thinking maybe her mom was tricked and her father was a demon. I think maybe her father became a demon after her mom thought she was pregnant. But also, the way you put it makes very good sense, and I think it's kind of like also showing what was supposed to happen, where Rumi's mother fell in love with an actual demon, and just same how Rumi and everyone made fun of me about how I pronounce his name. I'm gonna say Jay, because everyone made fun of me about how I pronounce
It's
his name.
Gino.
So with Jay, that how they can have a formal relationship, they can build a family, but what happened to the father?
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
happened to all that? So I really do want to go more into detail with that, but also I just obsessed with Rumi and Jay. I
Yeah.
want to see what happens with them.
Yeah.
Um, I really do think they're going to explore the whole sword and the soul situation with him. I, I don't know. There's so many avenues they can go. I'd be happy with either one, whichever direction. Even if they want to talk about Zoe's past, if they want to talk about Mira, right?
Yeah, Mira.
Sure, her past, all that, that's fine. Because even though we have like a broad aspect of what it's going to be, I really do think whichever direction they go, I'm not going to be disappointed, because they set this as such a high, even if it's like compared to like the Happy Gilmore, I don't think I can be let down.
Yeah.
I really
There's
don't.
so much there that they can like they did a really good job setting it up in such a way that there's
For a
a lot
franchise.
to explore, right? So
Mhm.
let's just talk. They could do a movie that's the next movie could be a prequel. Hey, here is the story of Rumi's mother and father while she was a part of the Sunlight Sisters. So
Mhm.
the Sunlight Sisters are the hunters at that time, and then it's the story of how Rumi came to be. So that could be a whole movie. Then they could do another movie that's a prequel directly following what happens here and what's going on, because Guima isn't necessarily like destroyed, he's just suppressed, right? And so like what's going on with that, is Genu going to come back? They could do a whole movie on that, and then they could do a whole series on how Mira, Zoe, and Rumi became hunters and kind
Like
of
the
like
training
as
arc.
their training arc while they were
Yeah.
still kids, they could dive into more of their family, more of like what it was like in their family environments and stuff like that while they were
Yeah.
training. So
Yeah.
they
A
could
lot
do
of
the whole training
backstories and
arc
everything.
there
Great.
and then end with their like inauguration as hunters and becoming hunters for the
And
first
then
time.
it
You could do a
leads to the
whole series
movie.
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
100%.
it leads to the movie. So there's so much you could do. And then you could even you could go further back to the founding of the hunters for with the original priestesses and shamans and tell
I
that
can see that
story
happening.
in a movie or a short film. So there's so much that they could do. They could do a movie with the next set of hunters, right? Depending
Yeah.
on, you know, maybe
Maybe a
Rumi
little
has
risky.
a child. But I'm saying there's a lot that could be done.
Oh, dude, if Rumi had a child with Jay or Keenum,